It was a very entertaining weekend of championship fixtures. There were a lot of surprises which made it interesting. I got 2 scores correct, only 3 results, so pretty happy to get 2 scores, and they fell within the first 3 games. The bang-on games were Leeds beating Leicester 3-1. Happy to get that, as I think it was one that probably a lot of people wouldn't have went for a 3-1 to Leeds, so glad to get that one right. The second was perhaps a little bit more predictable, 1-1 between West Brom and Hull. Now those 2 sides look pretty evenly matched going into it, so that one was probably a bit easier to get correct, but happy to take 2. Now, near the bottom of the table, so many teams won and a few really lost out. Rotherham, they lost, but they already kind of look gone. They're quite far adrift and they keep losing every week. The sides that may feel like they've been a little bit caught up: Blackburn drew, Blues and Stoke both lost. Stoke, it took them into the relegation zone. Birmingham City now only 3 points above the bottom 3, so tough weekend for those sides. 7 teams near the bottom of the table won. Very, very good for those sides. There were Plymouth, Swansea, Cardiff, Millwall, Huddersfield, QPR and Sheffield Wednesday, all picking up wins, all in the bottom 9 of the table, I believe, or 10, so plenty of good results there, but not so good for Blues. Now, without further ado, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get into the predictions for this weekend. West Brom faced Coventry in our opener. Interesting thing about this, West Brom played Hull last, and Coventry played against Preston. This week, West Brom play Coventry and Hull play Preston. So 4 sides all in and around the playoffs, all playing each other 2 weeks in a row. This game should be interesting. West Brom, good form throughout the season. They have been slipping up a little bit lately. A lot of teams below them have caught up, but they're still sitting 5th. They just can't really afford to be losing these games. Coventry, they were in brilliant form. They really rose up the table, but recent games, they've been picking up a few wins, a few draws. They lost 3-0 to Preston last time, and I spoke to a Coventry fan and he said it's kind of been coming. They've been fortunate to get a draw with Plymouth in the last minute. They scraped past Millwall, having to come back. So not too impressed with Coventry's recent performances. They have been picking up results, but they need to get back on track here. It's going to be a tough ask. West Brom, very strong at home. I can't really go against that. So West Brom to win 2-0. Bristol City face Cardiff. Both sides sitting on 44 points. I'd imagine they only need another 6 for survival. And I'd imagine they're a bit too far from going on a run for the playoffs. So they look like they're going to be mid-table sides. This one is interesting because Bristol City broke Southampton's unbeaten run with that 3-1 win, but since then they've lost 2 in a row to QPR and Sheffield Wednesday. Cardiff drew against Blackburn and beat Stoke as their last 2, so you give the form to Cardiff, but I've just got a feeling Cardiff on the road not too strong. I'm going to back Bristol City to win 1-0. Huddersfield face Leeds next. Now Huddersfield, decent form, 3 wins in their last 5. They won at the weekend. They did lose the other 2 though, and they've been against Hull and Southampton. So the quality has got to them slightly, and you know the really, really top sides this season have managed to beat them recently. Leeds are obviously a brilliant side. Their attack, full of goals. They've won 9 league games in a row. They're now second in the league. They beat Leicester 3-1 at the weekend. And they're only 6 points off the Foxes. So what looked like an unsurmountable challenge to win the league now looks quite a bit more realistic because Leicester have been slipping up and Leeds are not putting a foot wrong. Leeds, I think, are going to win this one 3-1. Blues face Southampton next. Blues, they lost at the weekend to Ipswich. It was a tight game. Ipswich were the better side, but it was 1-1 going into the last 10 minutes, and we just threw it away at the end with poor defending. But away from home at Ipswich, not really where we need the points. We've been poor away for the last 5-10 years. It's home that is important. We're home here. Southampton have been in a bit of a rocky patch. They've only had 2 of those this season. This is the second, and they've lost 3 of their last 4 fixtures. They lost to Millwall at the weekend, another side that are around Blues, so you can get at Southampton at the moment. And with Blues being at home, we've only lost 3 at home all season, and they were all under Wayne Rooney. So I've got confidence that we can come away with something here. I think it's the best time to play Southampton. If we played them at any other time, we would lose it. We probably still will lose, but I'm going to be optimistic and go for a 1-1 draw. Leicester take on QPR next. Leicester, 2 losses in a row. It's strange because Leicester have been so dominant all season. They've been top pretty much all season other than the early tussle with Ipswich. But now they're only 6 points ahead of third placed Ipswich. And Leeds and Ipswich are both putting good winning runs together. It's going to be interesting. If Leicester were to fall out of the top 2 and not end up getting automatically promoted, it would be one of the biggest collapses I think I've seen in the Championship before because of how dominant they've been. But you can't really put it out of the question at the moment. They do need to get back to winning ways here. QPR are a side that are fighting, and they finally came out of the relegation zone for the first time since September. So QPR have been very poor this season, but they're picking it up under Cifuentes, and they won at the weekend. They're now out of the relegation zone. They can start to look up. It's a tough task here. The Championship table can change very quickly. I've just got a feeling Leicester's quality is going to come through. So Leicester to win it narrowly 2-1. Millwall take on Watford. Millwall were in a very poor run. 7 without a win, losing 6 of those. But a shock 2-1 win away at Southampton, of all sides, puts Millwall in a nicer place. And, well, under a new manager, there'll be a bit of a bounce. And Watford aren't in great form. Watford have only won 1 of their last 7. They lost at the weekend to Huddersfield. Millwall could take this, and I'm surprisingly going to go down that route. Millwall to win 1-0. Norwich face Sunderland, 2 sides in the running for the playoffs. The latter has fallen off somewhat though. Norwich unbeaten in 5. They've been doing very well. They may be disappointed at drawing with Blackburn last time out, but Blackburn are looking hard to beat under Eustace. They haven't picked up any wins yet, but 3 draws and 1 loss is not a bad start. Sunderland lost 3 in a row to Huddersfield, Blues and Swansea. 3 sides that haven't had great seasons and have been struggling as of late. So not a great look for Sunderland. I'm going to give them 4 losses in a row here. Norwich to win 2-1. Plymouth take on Ipswich. Plymouth haven't been picking up many wins recently, but an away win last time out, a very rare one. 2-0 against Middlesbrough. 40 points now. You'd think they need 10 points from their final 12 games to kind of confirm their safety. I'm kind of giving it 50 points will keep you safe because Stoke don't look like they're going to pick up 15 more points. Sheffield Wednesday would probably struggle because they need 18 to get to 50. So I'm gonna put it at 50. Ipswich good form. They're back in it. I think they'd only won 1 of 9. However, 4 wins in a row. They're slowly getting into a rhythm. I mean, if they'd have won 3 of those 9, they could potentially be sitting in the top 2 or maybe even top with 4 out of 9. But a poor patch has kind of thrown their season off. It's not now in their hands, but if they keep winning, they've got a chance of getting back into those automatic spots. Only 6 points off the top of the table, losing out to goal difference by Leeds for second place, so they've got a chance. I'm going to go for this one, Ipswich to win 2-1. Preston face Hull next. A great win for Preston at the weekend, 3-0 over Coventry. They've now jumped above Coventry, very close to the playoff spots. I can't believe it because they're on -5 goal difference, I think, but they really have made a great comeback. They obviously started brilliantly, then they went for a very rough patch, went down to mid-table, but they bounced back in a very good way. Hull, also in good form, last 4 games unbeaten, 3 of those wins. They drew with West Brom, which is a very, very good result. It's interesting, this Hull side are looking the most likely to snatch that last playoff position. They could secure it further by finishing 5th because they're only a point behind West Brom. But this is a tight one to call. I wouldn't normally back Preston in this situation. I think I've probably been quite harsh to them this season, as I kind of just look at their squad and don't think much of it. Or I definitely don't think it belongs in the playoffs, but they're proving me wrong. I'm going to give them a point, and I hope I don't curse you, Preston. I'll go 1-1. Rotherham face Sheffield Wednesday in a massive crunch clash at the bottom of the table. Rotherham, it's been a season to forget. There are 19 points. They're 16 points adrift from 21st, which is safety, so not looking great considering there's only 12 games left. They could do it, but they will need to win probably 8 out of 12, something like that, to see themselves with enough points. It's going to be very, very tough for them. I mean, 8 out of 12 would only see them up to 43 points, so I don't think that will be enough. They're not in good form. 10 without a win, 6 losses in a row. They look all but gone. Sheffield Wednesday, they're only 3 points from safety, which if you'd have said that at the start of the season after their abysmal run under Xisco, you'd be very shocked. I think any Sheffield Wednesday fan would be very happy with the work that Danny Roll has done, but it would kind of feel like it's all for nothing if they still got relegated. I think with the way he's managed the group of players he has, they deserve to stay up. He deserves it for the work he's put in. And they've been in good form. 3 wins out of 4. They can do this, I think. I'm going to go for Sheffield Wednesday to get a win here. Much needed. I think it could be quite a tight fixture, so I will go for a 2-1 win. Stoke face Middlesbrough. Stoke are in the relegation zone and there's not long of the season left. And out of the sides down there, they don't have an easy running at all. They've lost 6 out of their last 7. It's just gone so wrong for Steven Schumacher. I know so many managers struggle at Stoke, but the grass maybe isn't always greener. I think that could be the lesson here, because Plymouth look like they're very, very close to safety and they don't look like they're going to go down. Stoke, however, probably, forgetting Rotherham, the worst form side at the moment. So, not great for Stoke. The reading for Middlesbrough is quite similar. Not as big of a selection of data, but their last 4 games, 3 losses and a win. Somehow the win was away at Leicester, which doesn't really make sense considering they've been struggling a lot recently, especially losing at home against Plymouth, who never win away. But this could be Stoke's opportunity to start getting some points. But I'm sorry, Stoke. I'm going to go for Middlesbrough to win it 1-0. Swansea face Blackburn. This is a tough one. It's our final fixture. Swansea, they haven't been great under Luke Williams so far, but they did pick up their second win under his reign, and it was a 2-1 over Sunderland. Both wins have came away. They haven't won in 4 times of asking at home, losing all 4 fixtures. Blackburn under Eustace, 4 games into his reign, he lost his opener to Blues, but has drawn the following 3. Does that suggest this will be a draw? Maybe. I think it will be a tight affair. Both sides sitting on 39 points with minus 12 goal difference, so pretty hard to separate them so far. Blackburn seem to have a few more goals in their side. Obviously, Sammy Schmodix this season being brilliant up front. Not so many goals from him as of late, but I think this, to be honest, I'm going to go for a draw. I'm going to go 1-1. So those are my predictions for these championship fixtures. Some tough fixtures to predict here. I think a lot of the lower sides winning last time out makes me think they can go on a run, get another win, get a good point against the top side. So makes it all a bit more interesting. It's so tight at the bottom of that table. Lots of sides still in trouble, but I do really, if I have to fear for anyone at the moment, again, forgetting Rotherham because I think they're gone, I'm really worried about Stoke. They're just in such poor form, and I've got a feeling if they don't sort it out within the next 5 games, it might be too late to rescue it in the final 7. Make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know your predictions in the comments, and up the Blues.